China-made stuff runs for barely half price. Drop it to a third and I'll take it. Fine, contract's off. Yikes, what's with this blinding light? Look at that. It grew red, plump, and juicy. My name's Makoto Osanai, 50 years old. I took over the family farm my old man built from the ground up.
These little guys survived that typhoon like champs.
Yeah, they really did. That's my wife, Hana. Farming's not exactly a walk in the park, but Hana always wears that bright smile. Thanks for sticking with me through it all, babe. Hello? This is Ojima, the new president of Lucille Michel. Ojima, president? Nice to meet you, sir. Lucille Michel, a high-end restaurant that's been buying our produce for 30 years. They've always loved our veggies. Ojima just took over the reins from his father. Gotta say, I respect the guy for stepping up so young. I wanted to talk about your latest delivery. Of course, what's the issue? Chinese imports cost less than half. I'd buy yours if the price dropped to a third. Then I guess our contract is over. What? Coincidentally, we were scheduled to deliver to your company today. Should I go ahead and cancel that as well? Hey, hold on a sec. Don't be so quick to jump the gun. I'm just saying you should lower your prices. Man, country folks really don't get nuance. So this is his true face. No more pretending. His father was such an honest man. It lulled me into a false sense of trust. We pour our hearts and souls into growing these vegetables. This farm is our life. Yeah, so what? So we prefer to work with companies that actually value what we do. Consider this the end of our partnership. You mad old man? I was just joking about the Chinese produce. Not at all. I simply stated our position, hoping you'd understand. Huh. You know, I honestly think veggies are disgusting. The world would be better off without them. As a farmer, that stings to hear. But hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm sure there are others who agree with you. My dad's dumped a ridiculous amount of money into your gross vegetables. The economy's in the toilet. Feels like tossing cash straight into a sewer. Shouldn't that stop sooner rather than later? If that's how you see things, then there's no reason to keep doing business with us. Yeah, maybe it's time to sign with another farm. And pocket the savings for my bonus while I'm at it.
You okay?
The new president of Lucille Michel said our veggies were too expensive.
Oh no.
On top of that, he hates vegetables and came at me really aggressively. In the end, we agreed to end the contract.
That's such a shame. You had a great relationship with the former president.
Yeah, but you can't fight the flow of time.
True enough.
Still, our sales are definitely gonna take a hit. I made a rash call and now you're stuck dealing with the fallout. I'm sorry.
Don't be. Sure, we don't have a huge client list, but every one of them trusts us. That's worth something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if their values don't line up with ours, I'd walk away too. You made the right call, Makoto.
Hana. You really are the sun that lights up my life, Hana.
What's that now?
You know how I second guess everything, but one word from you and I feel like I made the right choice.
So basically, you can't survive without me.
Not denying it. The second-gen hotshot tried to strong-arm me. But walking away from him only brought me and my wife even closer. A few days later, we headed off to a cottage in the next prefecture.
You've been working non-stop lately, and after all that drama with Lucille Michelle, I figured you could use a break. Let's just relax today, okay?
Thanks for thinking of me. Guess I'll do a little fishing in the stream out back.
Don't come back without a big one.
You got it. Damn it. Why the hell won't Osanai pick up? Getting those Chinese veggies cheap was great at first, but then the staff started grilling me about the origin, and taste quality tanked. I shut them down hard using my authority. And now the public thinks we're serving dangerous produce. Where the hell did that leak come from? This is bad. Real bad. Lucille Michelle's rep is nosediving. Customers are gonna vanish. Sales will tank. And guess who's gonna take the fall? I worked too hard for this position to lose it over a screw-up like this. Please, Osanai, pick up. Come on, let's start over. Let's sign that contract again. Farming and fishing both mean working with nature, but man, the vibe couldn't be more different. I don't grow vegetables for fun. I do it to deliver top quality produce to our customers, rain or shine. But fishing, you just toss your line in and zone out. No pressure. Yeah, today I'm taking Hana's advice. Time to slow down and enjoy it. And the next morning, bright and early.
All right, back to the usual grind.
Sorry we couldn't relax a little longer.
No worries. Honestly, I feel most at peace when I'm working.
That really means a lot to hear.
Look, the veggies are probably thirsty. Let's get them some water.
You're right. Let's do it. Huh? Wait, what?
What's wrong?
I've got over 100 missed calls from yesterday to today.
100? From who?
President Ojima. I put my phone away while we were at the cottage, so I didn't notice. Whoa, another one just came in. Might be urgent. I should probably answer.
Yeah, probably.
Hello? Finally, you actually picked up. Sorry, I just now saw the missed call, sir. You call yourself a professional? Being unreachable all day is beyond irresponsible. Yes, I truly apologize. And here I was just feeling refreshed. So, what can I do for you? Lucille Michelle's reputation is tanking. I see. This must be about the backlash from using foreign produce. The media's been all over it. This is all your fault, you know. You led me down this path. Come on, you're the one who decided to drop our contract. Don't talk back to me. You're gonna take responsibility for dragging Lucille Michelle into this mess. Excuse me? Don't worry, I'm not asking for money. I want you to sign a new contract, but this time at half the price. President Ojima, We're a major client for you. Turn us down and you'll regret it. Got it? We won't be doing business with your company again. Why are you so hung up on the price? I even backed off from 1/3 to half. You should be grateful. It's not about the price. You insulted our vegetables. Huh, a farmer with pride? That's rich. I know your income must have tanked after we dropped you. Yeah, our sales took a serious hit. At least you admit it, huh? Then just take my offer and stop struggling. I'm doing you a favor here. Actually, we already filled the gap. Huh? We've got no vegetables available for Le Ciel Michel anymore. What do you mean by that? Several companies have been reaching out to buy from us for a while, but my wife and I run this farm alone. We can't produce that much. Once our deal ended with you, you filled that open slot with someone else? Exactly. This guy moves fast. We only ended things a few weeks ago. But there's no other buyer that orders in the same volume as we do, right? Actually, we've signed with 2 new companies, and together their orders match what your company used to buy. But dealing with just one company would be way easier. Supplying a top-tier restaurant like Le Ciel Michel is the smarter choice, don't you think? I believe in valuing the partners we're working with now, and Le Ciel Michel isn't one of them. You're really stubborn, huh? We did business with you for 30 years. This is how you repay that? Sorry to flip it on you, but do you have any idea how it felt to suddenly be insulted and dropped after 30 years of partnership? All right, fine. I admit I went too far. I'm sorry. I'm not looking for an apology. Look, let's just put this whole thing behind us. Pretend the contract cancellation never happened. That means you're obligated to supply us again. We already sent your company a formal termination notice. You even returned the signed documents. So, no, I'm not obligated to do anything. Ugh. Actually, your father gave me a few parting words when he handed things over. My dad did? He said, my son's still young. If he ever acts out of line, don't go easy on him. Hit him with the harshest response possible. Are you serious? Your father was a man of integrity. I assumed his son would be just as admirable. Don't say it like that. Probably just meant that I should be called out when I mess up, right? That's not what harshest response meant. You panicked after cutting ties and realizing it was a mistake. You came crawling back to beg for help, and I refused. That, Ojima, is your worst case scenario. You're brutal. Anyway, I've got work to do, so if you'll excuse me. Wait. When you mess up, you can't just undo it. That's a basic principle of business, and something any company leader should already know. So you're saying I'm immature? When you trample on people's trust, winning it back isn't easy. Goodbye. Stupid farmer acting like he's some big shot. Whew.
You look really refreshed, Makoto.
Yeah, letting all of that out feels amazing. President Ojima's gonna have a rough time ahead, but maybe getting shut down like this will push him to fight harder and grow.
I bet that's exactly what his father would have wanted.
I thought I could buy his veggies on my terms, and instead I got completely shut down and out-argued. And the fact that Dad had already talked to Osanai about me? Total backfire. I can't believe my own father set me up to lose like that. Unbelievable. Still, there's gotta be a way to bounce back, even without Osanai. People are just wary of Chinese produce, right? So if I just switch to domestic veggies, I don't even need Osanai stuff. Problem solved. Japan's crawling with farmers. Tons of them would jump at the chance to supply a top-tier restaurant like Le Ciel Michel. Hello? This is President Ojima from Le Ciel Michel. I'd like to buy your vegetables. Sorry, we're gonna have to decline. What? Why? Your restaurant's in the spotlight right now over that whole produce origin scandal. If we partner with you, we could take a hit to our reputation. Oh yeah? Fine. I'm never calling you again. Unbelievable. I reached out and they get cocky? Next time, I'll seal the deal for sure. This is Ojima from Le Ciel Michel. You dropped off some veggie samples a while back, remember? Lucky you. I'm ready to offer you a contract now. What? You're not taking new contracts? Fine. Hope you enjoy missing your big break. What is happening right now? I can't believe I got turned down twice in a row. Le Ciel Michel's name is spiraling while I sit here spinning my wheels. Host and I must be picturing my pathetic face and laughing his head off, but I won't panic. When you've hit rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. Just wait. I'll clear my name. Watch me. 1 week later.
Makoto, one of our new clients just called to say they love our vegetables. They said the taste and aroma are in a whole different league from what they used to buy, and customer feedback has been amazing.
That's music to my ears. Alright, let's go check out the restaurant this weekend and see how they're serving our veggies.
Yes, let's. Hey, have you heard from President Ojima since then?
Yeah, Le Ciel Michel's not getting blasted on daytime TV as much lately, but there's still plenty of criticism. Well, if he runs the business honestly, public opinion will shift eventually.
It's a historic restaurant. I'm sure they've still got fans rooting for them.
For his father's sake, I hope he keeps trying. Looks like the crowd's starting to come back. So all I had to do was switch back to domestic veggies and boom! Everyone's all forgiving again? People are so easy. It's only a matter of time before we're back at peak sales. Things were dicey for a while, but the Le Ciel Michel brand is unstoppable. Still, it bugs me that we're paying top dollar for what's grass. Can't haggle right now, and Chinese produce is a total no-go. If only there were some way to balance the books. Wait, that's it. I've got a genius idea. If I pull this off, we're golden. Man, I was born to be a president. Another week later. Sales are climbing steadily. At this rate, it's safe to say our reputation is fully restored. President Ojima, there's a situation. Huh? Deal with it yourselves. I've got business lunches and inspections lined up. But the customer's demanding to speak with someone in charge. Just get rid of the complainer. I don't have time for this. Ugh. Labeling a customer a complainer without even hearing them out? That's insulting. Sir. He overheard that? Great, what a pain. Since you're here, let's hear it. What's the issue? It's about the vegetables your place is serving. If it's about the origin, I assure you everything's legit. The quality's awful. They're wilted and look like they've been sitting out for days. I've eaten at restaurants all over the world. You can't fool someone like me. Even if the source is domestic, your little scheme's gonna get exposed. I have no idea what you're talking about. I wonder when karma will come knocking on your door. I have another appointment. Excuse me. What a creepy guy. That customer knows we've been reusing ingredients. This time we're seriously screwed. Shut up. The fastest way to cut costs is to reuse leftovers. But hygiene is life or death in the restaurant business. You're just a pawn. You don't get to talk back. Know your place. Yes, sir. Later that night. Man, that guy today ticked me off. And that employee, what was his name again? Thinks he can talk back to me? He's a century too early for that. Gotta let off some steam. So how about I go mess up Osanai's little farm tonight? He picked the wrong guy to cross. He's gonna regret it. Once all those precious veggies he raised get trashed, he'll be crushed. A farmer's income is a joke anyway. One big loss like this and he's done for good. Maybe I'll give him a job washing dishes at my place. Make him scrub pots till he cries. I'll feel way better after that. Whoa, what's with that light? I thought some animals were tearing through the crops, but it's just you. Osanai, it's 2 in the morning. Don't tell me. You knew I was coming and set me up?
Farmers start their mornings early.
I found you by chance. Is that so? Damn it, I screwed up. You enjoy destroying the vegetables we've worked so hard to grow with our own sweat and tears? You've got it all wrong. They were already cut when I got here. You're holding scissors. Making excuses now is just pathetic. Here's a security camera. We'll know exactly who did it. I'd hoped he might turn things around, but he hasn't changed. He doesn't even want to. If you had any idea how much work goes into growing just one vegetable, you would never pull something like this. Come on, it's just some veggies. You want compensation? Fine. Here, 10 ruined tomatoes, right? I'll give you $100. That's $10 per tomato. Consider it a lucky bonus. Funny how generous you're being for someone so desperate to cut costs.
You don't exactly act like a guy running a restaurant that reuses discarded ingredients.
Huh? What are you talking about? Wait a second. Are they connected to that complainer from before? They've got dirt on me. This is bad. Actually, my wife visited Le Ciel Michel yesterday with a friend.
Even with the bad press, it's still a prestigious place. I figured I'd give the food another try myself. But the very first appetizer was shocking. The veggies looked dull and tired. I've worked at produce for years. No way that should have been served to a customer. I asked the waiter where the vegetables came from, and he was kind enough to tell us the name of the farm.
Really?
Then, I asked if you were reusing ingredients.
Gah.
He immediately got all fidgety. That reaction gave him away.
What kind of amateur detective logic is that? So, people with refined taste can really tell. I bet your farm suppliers have no idea this is how their vegetables are being treated. Well, every farmer wants their crops to be served in peak condition.
Treating their hard work like trash is just plain disgraceful.
Come on, you're not the ones getting hurt here. Can't you just let it slide? We've already reported this to your father. What? You're kidding, right? He said the food reuse claims were serious enough to start an investigation immediately.
Keeping quiet about something this big would have made us accomplices.
And when the truth comes out, you're gonna have to face the press again. Cutting waste and maximizing profit is a key part of business. I didn't do anything wrong. That doesn't give you the right to deceive paying customers.
Even if we had noticed, someone else would have caught on sooner or later. Secrets always come to light.
And as for sneaking onto our farm and destroying our crops, we're filing a police report. Wait, no, please, don't do that.
We already called the police when we saw you. Time to face the music.
No, what's gonna happen to me? With that, President Ojima was taken away by the police, head hanging in shame. Afterward, criminal damage and a fat bill for damages? Well, at least I'm not going to jail. Hosanai, I'm still the president of La Ciel Michel. I won't go down that easily. I'll claw my way back to the top, even if I have to crawl through the mud to do it. You think you've won? Think again. I deeply apologize for everything. The concerns about our hygiene practices were completely my fault. From now on, I promise to run this restaurant with sincerity and rebuild the trust we've lost. Please continue to support La Ciel Michel. That performance? Piece of cake. No doubt Dad'll let it slide too. What? I'm fired? But I held a public apology. I thought we settled everything. What more do you people want? Alright, I'll admit I screwed up with the produce and the hygiene stuff. I never should have dropped Hosanai. That's what tanked La Ciel Michel's reputation in the first place. But I've learned my lesson. I've changed. Just give me one more chance. But what waited for President Ojima was a brutal downfall. My father disowned me. I lost everything. Status, respect, even my savings. Since I blew it all goofing off. And without income, I can't afford rent in my fancy tower apartment. Looks like it's pouring tonight. Guess I'll crash under the overpass. The so-called friends I had all vanished the moment I went broke. People sure are cold. 1 week later, I've gotta get off the street, but no one's willing to hire me. Why? They tell me I should show up clean and neat, but I don't even have a razor. I wash my face at a park faucet, for crying out loud. Guess I can't be picky anymore. This sucks. In the end, he started working part-time at a convenience store, and now lives a modest life. Meanwhile, Hana and I are still putting our vegetables first every single day.
Makoto, there's heavy rain in the forecast all next week. Let's harvest the tomatoes, eggplants, and bell peppers while we can.
Roger that.
And we should reinforce the stakes too.
Oh, and don't forget the greenhouse. It had a few holes. We'd better patch those up.
We really got a lot done today.
Yeah, this cold beer hits the spot.
Our first harvest of black edamame this summer smells amazing, and the crunch is perfect.
Nice. That's one more veggie to add to our deliveries.
Farming's tough, but I could never give it up.
Even when we're old and creaky, let's keep working in the fields together.
You bet. We've still got plenty of seasons left in us.